I want to leave school and leave my education and become a reporter if possible. And I was in Bristol for the next 8 years, maybe. I joined the local paper as a junior reporter when I was 17.
And then Anthony Smith was asked to start an arts page and to hire Tom Stoppard.
The first time we met each other, Tom and I, we took an instant dislike to each other. To me, he was a greasy-haired provincial. And to Tom, I was a toffee-nosed graduate. And within, I think, a week, we were each other's buddies.
John Boorman, now an acclaimed feature film director, was then working at BBC Bristol. He made a series about Anthony and his wife Alison, featuring their friend, Tom Stoppard.
I mean, this is 4 years before Rosencrantz, so nobody had heard of Tom Stoppard, but he looked pretty good in Boorman's series.
He was what I needed, actually. He became a best friend. I could up my game in his presence. Anthony lived in a flat which, if you looked at Clifton from below, he was on the skyline. It was like being on Mount Sinai or somewhere. It was just this.
I'm very good with music. I'm sort of better with words.
He had that lean stylishness that Jagger has got.
Short but ambitious, don't you think? Marvellous.
But he also had those, what do you say, to be polite, slightly fleshy lips that Jagger has always had and Tom's got. The other thing about Tom at that time was how very well he talked.
She did that Baghdad from Land's End.
Oh, that one?
I mean, he was immensely fluent, but not just fluent verbally, fluent mentally. He was an extraordinary performer, social performer.
Yeah, do me a favour. 4 days, child, look, right down there. Oh. His mom said, "Oh, sir, are there any play clothes?"
The life of the reporter was about as opposite as you could get from life at a boarding school, obviously not co-educational. Suddenly, you know, I was grown up and out in the world. I was deliriously happy.
Tom was sent to reviews at the theatre, and he became very friendly with a new young actor called Peter O'Toole. O'Toole was very good to Tom, because for years Tom hadn't got a bean. O'Toole would occasionally help him out.
He was a very striking person, a striking actor. I saw his Hamlet, for example, and the Dame in Panto. It was wonderful to be a pal of his.
I mean, the theatre scene in Bristol was extraordinary at that time. And that's when, I think, the light dawned, and that was what he really wanted to do most of all.
Now, London was calling.
Theatre was really hot in England. There was an element of ambition and vanity. A disproportionate amount of interest was paid to plays at that time. And I wanted a disproportionate amount of interest to be paid to me.
Tom's days starting out as a writer in London echo in his screenplay for Shakespeare in Love.
Will you lend me £50? Oh.